Hello everybody, Wendy from Harmonizing Energy here. I wanted today to go over something with you that you can do to help yourself. That is actually doesn't take much time at all. Okay, so if you've already seen this, I did a Facebook Live on this the other day, just actually yesterday, but I wasn't able to transfer it to my YouTube video. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a separate YouTube video and then upload it at some time. Okay. So I want to talk to you today about breath work, bringing you back down to center. If you go about your day and you find that something triggers you, you get upset or you get anxious or something gets on your nerves, or maybe you think about a past event, something that happened that you still have an emotion attached to it. So when you think of it, you have a negative emotion and you come across that during the day when you're thinking. You can use your breath to come back down to 0 point. Now, I will be putting up a video really soon on tapping. I've done a video on tapping, I just haven't uploaded it yet. So tapping is something that you can do for yourself too, but tapping takes some time. And if you don't want to do tapping in a store or at your workplace or whatever, breath work is the easiest thing to do. So I was taught, I've known about breath work for a long time, but a couple years ago, I was talking to a man and he went into breath work even more and it just made sense. And he always says that the way I can help him is to help other people, or actually to thank him is to help other people. So that's what I've decided to do, is to help you. Okay, so breath work. So when you watch a baby sleep on its back, you notice that its natural breath, the belly goes up and down as it breathes. That is our natural breath that we're born with, okay? The belly breath. Some of you, if you've taken yoga, you've learned about it in yoga. If you've taken karate, qigong, anything else, you probably should have, if you've had the right master, you should have learned about the belly breath. Wim Hof, I think he even does the belly breath. He has certain techniques. Okay, so the belly breath. But as we grow older, we end up breathing up into our chest and raising our shoulders up and down. Also, as a woman, I know that I don't like to have my belly sticking out, that I like to have it in. So that also limits my breathing, and it makes me not do the belly breath. Okay, so whenever you're out and about, or even if you're at home or whatever, and something triggers you or something just gets to you, maybe it's your kids getting on your nerves, maybe it's, this happens to me lately, you're working on the computer on something technical and it just isn't panning out for you, and you feel sometimes like you want to throw that computer across the room, or, take a sledgehammer to it. To get you out of that zone is to take the 3 deep breaths, the 3 deep belly breaths, the Buddha breath. If you ever seen Buddha, or maybe the only time you've seen Buddha is going into a Chinese restaurant, okay? You see Buddha, he's got this big ass belly because Buddha is used to taking those belly breaths, okay? And that belly breath is when you breathe in, you expand your lungs so much that it drops the diaphragm and it extends your belly. And what also is that doing when you're extending those lungs, filling up those lungs, you're also taking in way more oxygen that your body needs. And it's getting through your lungs into those capillaries all over the body, to those cells, carrying it to the muscles and the brain, and it's oxygenating those cells. And it's also able to release the endorphins, the good endorphins, the good chemicals in your brain and in your body that stimulates that high. Okay? So, when you take that breath, you get into that area and you're like, oh my gosh, you're able to think a little bit and say, I need to get out of this area. I need to get out of this. What can I do for myself? You can take 3 deep breaths and you do it in through your nose. And you fill up your lungs. You close your eyes, you're able to focus more. You imagine your lungs filling up, the breath going all the way down, and your belly coming out. And then when you let it out, you let it out with a sigh, and you let all the oxygen out, until you can compress your belly using your belly muscles. I mean, that's how we compress, is we use our muscles. You do that 3 times, that will bring you back to 0 point. Now, if you think of a number line, like a number line that we were worked with when we were in school, right? You got your negatives and your positives and 0. So your negatives are over here, your positives are over here, and here's your 0 point. When you get out of the logical brain and you're in the emotional brain, you're on one of these sides. Okay? It's hard to think logically. Taking that belly breath is bringing you back to 0 point, where you can think logically again. You can manifest easier and a lot better at the 0 point. There's a lot more things you can do. You can also heal a lot better, a lot quicker, because you're at 0 point and your body is in neutral, so it's able to do the work that it needs to do. If you've heard me talk about other things, you see how this is all related, how it all goes together. As you start studying these things, or as you start reading these things or getting into it, you notice it all fits together. Okay? So the 3 deep breaths will get you back to 0 point. Now, I always tell clients this. You take those 3 deep breaths, what you do with yourself after that is up to you. So like, what am I saying? So you take those 3 deep breaths, you come back down, you center yourself. Now, you take your next step or your next word, and what do? Do you go back in there? Do you go back in and you get mad again? Do you let that thing trigger you? Do you let your child spike an emotion because you're letting it take control? Not letting it take control, letting it, basically you're giving it your power. You're letting it do your emotions. You need to take care of your own emotions. So what do you do after you take those 3 deep breaths? It's up to you. Do you walk back into where you were before? If you do, that's okay. We are human. That happens all of the time. And it's probably not going to stop. But we keep working on it, okay? So if you go back, right back into that zone again, into that crazy zone after you take 3 deep breaths, it's okay. You can always take 3 deep breaths all over again and bring you back down into center point. All right? Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. My name is Wendy, Harmonizing Energy. Check out my website, harmonizingenergy.net, and my YouTube videos. Have a great day. Bye.